Let me take you on a journey for a moment. A journey back to the past. To a time when the internet was young and the MMORPG was just beginning to hit its stride as a juggernaut genre in the gaming world. When the journey and not the destination was a critical aspect of the game's experience. And the concept was not only expected by gamers, but was also understood by them. Back before the genre as a whole was a slave to the greedy wiles of an entire pack of ravenous shills in suits, all trying to take a slice of the MMO genre money pie, and who displayed absolutely zero fucks given about who they had to lie to or what they had to lie about to get it. In a time before the existence of the YouTube channel, Game Musings with Raziel, with his strong jawline, beautiful flowing dark locks of hair, and his ever-adored worldview of glass completely empty, which pales in comparison to the worldview of society as a whole in 2020. Now, what does this finely worded intro have to do with the title of the video, I hear you say? Well, shut the fuck up and keep listening because I'm getting to it. I'm talking about a time before there was any need to even have this video exist at all. Before the buy your way to end game trope was even a twinkle in Bobby Kotick's eye. And because the two main MMOs that I currently play are World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV, I'm going to carefully explain to you in this video why, if you are a new player in either of these games, don't buy a fucking character boost. So strap in, boys and girls, or any of the other 424 genders invented by the current climate of mentally ill children, and let's get started.
I am Raziel.
We all have that friend, that guy or gal who you would love nothing more than to share in your experience of your favorite MMORPG. Maybe they've been playing MMOs for a long time, or maybe the current game you play would be completely new to them. They even express interest in joining you on your adventures. But then the reality of what most people will do once they see that they can pay extra money to instantly skip the entire leveling and learning process and get straight to the end game crashes down on you like a group of Antifa members at a sex shop with a blowout cell on large dildos. They are going to buy a level boost service or story, level skip potion, whatever, and are going to be a complete embarrassment to themselves and to you. And as the friend that got them into this game, it's going to be your responsibility to teach them every system of the game, from how to travel, get and turn in quests, to their entire rotation and how to install add-ons, lest they quit the game they just started out of frustration and being overwhelmed. And before you know it, there you are, sitting on your couch on the verge of tears, wishing you were reading your own obituary in the daily newspaper, and asking yourself why you were ever friends with this person in the first place. But all joking aside, I don't mind helping out my friends in MMOs when they're new players, and sending them helpful links such as Icy Veins for WoW, or showing them to the Final Fantasy XIV Discord to help them with Final Fantasy. Shit, I don't even mind helping new players that I don't know in real life to give them a little extra helping hand in understanding the new world of Azeroth or Eorza respectively. I'm glad my experience can help other players. But when it comes to complete hand-holding because of a system that Activision Blizzard or Square Enix placed into their respective games to gain additional profit, it makes me start thinking that having sex with a rusty fishhook is a more appealing activity.
That's really fucked up.
Now, to be fair, it should be understood that these services' original intention, other than making money, was for already longtime players of these games for the purposes of alt characters on other servers, or trying a class that you haven't played yet you don't want to restart from the very beginning of the game. I mean, if you don't have a max level character and try to boost your first character ever in World of Warcraft, the game flat out tells you that it's not recommended to do this. But Raziel, you gorgeous, beautiful hunk of a man, I hear you say, why is this such a bad idea to buy a level skip or a story skip for your first character. Because you'll suck. You'll be an embarrassment to yourself and everyone around you, and you will be completely overwhelmed. Like being asked to write your final doctorate's dissertation on your first day of class your freshman year in far-left liberal indoctrination camp. College. And if you fail said dissertation, everyone in your class will be docked points on their dissertation, despite being seniors that are actually ready to complete said task, thus almost guaranteeing that you will fail and that every one of your classmates will be so irate with you that they'll want to shoot you in the face and eat your genitals in front of you as you die, as some sort of ritualistic show of dominance. I'm sure it's done somewhere.
Like Kobayashi.
I've seen him do it.
You've actually seen him eat a man's penis?
It was in international waters, so they couldn't prosecute him, but I saw it.
But really, other than those reasons I just mentioned, it's because you'd be doing yourself a severe disservice. Imagine buying a great masterpiece of a game like The Witcher 3 or Chrono Trigger and just being dropped down in the game right when you turn it on for the first time with decent gear and items, and you're about to face off the last few bosses and levels of the game. You'd hate it and not appreciate the game for what it is because you'd have no context. No semblance of your place in the world or what led you and your character to that point in the narrative. The same is true for MMORPGs like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. If you are brand new to the game and you buy a story skip or character boost just so you can get to the quote-unquote the real end game faster, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and failure. The narrative of Final Fantasy XIV, for example, is probably the game's strongest point, and skipping it would deprive you of any attachments to the characters, their struggles, and your character's story arc, and which, all that provides you with the necessary context of why you are even raiding and doing actual endgame content in the first place. Both games are designed to teach you throughout your journey from level 1 to the current level cap, so that by the time you reach the end game, you are self-sufficient and you have a good enough grasp and knowledge of the systems the game requires you to use in order to succeed and enjoy your time in the game. Now, of course, no one expects you to know everything and even resemble the shadow of being a master at the game on your first character once you hit level cap, but you'll be just good enough so when another player does give you advice or point you in the right direction, you'll already have a basic understanding, so you can actually understand what the fuck the person is even talking about. When you are a new player that just buys your way to the end, you aren't hard to spot too. From being the most meta DPS class in the game, but somehow you're still doing less DPS than the tanks and healers in World of Warcraft as you keyboard turn and backpedal out of mechanics and still get hit anyway, to being a white mage in Final Fantasy XIV's endgame Savage Raids, but having your group find out after a constant amount of tank deaths that you don't even have Benediction on your hotbars because you didn't know the ability even existed despite it being an ability that's learned at level 50. So, long story short, if you're new to either of these MMOs, for the love of God, don't level boost or story skip your first character. There is no rush, even if you have a gaggle of friends all waiting for you at endgame. You'll serve them and yourself best by taking your time, getting context, enjoying the narrative, and learning the game's core systems and, most importantly, the class of your choice by starting at level 1 and taking the same journey they did to get there. Endgame isn't going anywhere, I promise you. It'll still be there when you reach level cap, no matter how long it takes. Then, afterwards, once you have mastered the game and you feel at home no matter what class you play because you understand how the game is structured and how it works, you can then fill Blizzard's and Square Enix's pockets to the brim with your money to your heart's content, boosting additional characters or other jobs all day long. And that's the video for today. If you hated it, downvote it, and no one will give a shit. My Twitch shit is on the screen now. If you want to come make fun of me when I'm live streaming, see all my failures as a human being while somehow managing to still be insanely attractive. Thanks, genetics. But as always, my friends, keep it real.